Let me get it started. BB with the Robins, looking all retarded. BB sagging, fly like a dragon. Bitch on my dick 'cause I fly like a lion.
slip conditions outside. Please watch your step. With shuttle service across the street at the parking garage. If you have luggage, this is your stop. Maryland is this station stop. Please watch your step while in training. There's a small gap between the station's platform and the train due to inclement weather. It's very slippery outside, folks. Step. Baltimore. West Baltimore will be our next station stop. West or next station stop. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to West Baltimore, you must exit at the rear of the train where you see a uniformed member of the crew. All doors will not make the platform at West Baltimore. Please exit at the rear of the train where you see a uniformed member of the crew. All doors will not make the platform. Exit at the rear of the train.
Explain the mission for today, and it's very, very specific. No, it wasn't for the documentary. No, I wasn't just rail fanning. No, I wasn't testing out the weather, and trust me, the weather sucked. I was miserable, and I'll get more into details here in a second. The mission was to find out where exactly I'm interviewing. You guys do not know, I've applied for a position at Southwest Airlines at Ronald Reagan National Airport, Washington, D.C., or DCA, as some of y'all know the airport codes. I've applied, and I've done a phone interview, and they're impressed with my phone interview, and now they've asked me to come to BWI Airport to their people, people services, I believe it's what it's called, and then they want a face-to-face interview. It's in the cargo lounge, and as I like to do with interviews and important stuff like that, I like to know where I'm going beforehand, know exactly where it is. For CSX, I did this twice, because CSX was my first ever interview. First ever place I've ever interviewed. Like a full-on interview, suit and tie, with resumes, ready to answer questions. It was my first place. So my advice, the advice I was given by my family and all my friends was to go find the place first, and then know what you're doing afterwards. So this mission today was to find out where that was. All I knew is that it was one of the brick buildings that was 2 stories, that was somewhere in the cargo area. And according to Google Earth, or Google Maps, excuse me, I don't use Google Earth anymore. Google Maps, it said that the building's right across from the light rail station. So my idea was, well, first of all, number one, security. Security is very big when you go onto an airport or anywhere, basically, right? Or you're near a train station, like all on train stations today, I've seen so many Amtrak police. And then, like at airports, you have TSA, you have all kinds of security going on. You have security fences, you have security patrol, security everything, right? So I didn't want to draw attention. I didn't want to just randomly, walk up to the building. Number one, it was pouring. Number two, it's a security risk, and that already gives. And then I'll have to explain to myself who I am, this and that, and then it gives me a bad first impersonation when I show up to the place. So I figured if Google Maps can see from the light rail station, I wonder if I can too. So that's what I did. So I took the MARC all the way to Baltimore Penn and casually rode the light rail. Now, get this. The light rail was not operating at Penn Station, and I didn't know that. I thought it was, but it didn't. So I went all the way to Penn Station, got my light rail pass after trying for 20 minutes to put my freaking chip in, because those machines don't like to read the chips, and it didn't work for 20 minutes, and then I got that squared away. The light rail wasn't running. How am I going to get to where I'm trying to get to without getting wet? I had no choice. So there's supposed to be a shuttle bus, right? That shuttle bus never came. I waited 40 minutes for a shuttle bus to come. It didn't come at all. So I had to walk in the middle of the pouring rain. When I mean pouring, it feels like hail. I don't understand why. It feels like hail. Okay? So I walked 10 blocks in the middle of Baltimore, downtown Baltimore, in the dark, by myself. Right? Not a good idea. And I highly admit that. It wasn't a good idea. I wasn't thinking. My plan failed. And I didn't have a backup because I did not check like a dumbass. Anyways. So, I walked 10 blocks in the middle of the pouring rain in downtown Baltimore. And I already ripped open my shoe. Both shoes. Water is filling in my shoes. As a matter of fact, it's already filled in my shoes. My feet are numbed. They're cold. I can't feel them. Okay? Water is in my shoes and it's all absorbed in my sock. I don't have a rain jacket or an umbrella. Right? Because I forgot it was pouring in Baltimore. It was pouring in D.C. The roads were flooded on my way to the metro station. The tracks were even flooded on the metro. And yet, I didn't think it was going to be pouring in Baltimore. I don't know why. That's dumb on my part. Okay? So, I walked 10 blocks down. Right? And all the water is absorbed in my sweatpants and all in my jacket, But, like, I'm not wet myself. So, and that's a funny joke right there. I realized after walking my 10th block, I went the wrong way. I had to walk 7 blocks back and 3 blocks up. What's 7 plus 3? That's 10. What's 10 plus 10? 20. I had to walk 20 blocks in the middle of the pouring rain while it's cold, freezing, and water is flooded in my shoes. I get to the light rail station, finally. I check the stats immediately. I stared at the board to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. It said BWI Airport. 15 minutes. So, okay, I'll wait 15 minutes. Luckily, there's an overhang, right? Well, the first light rail came. It was to the other one. Lithicum, I believe it's called. Towards that. I'm like, okay, it wasn't mine. And my mother called me and explained everything. She was freaking out. Like, oh my god, you're in the middle of Baltimore by yourself. Something's going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I wasn't freaking out because I've been to Baltimore so many times to where I understand how everything works. How people treat you. Like how you should treat other people. Like what to expect, what to look out for, what red flags should come around you, right? Red flags everywhere. I mean, like, I was in a good section of Baltimore next to Penn Station. Oh, sorry, my cat just walked in. I was in a good section, where there's not much issues. Because once you cross the bridge on the same side as Penn Station, you might have a little run here there. But people don't bother you. As long as you don't bother them, they don't bother you, which is totally fine with me. I can deal with that, you know. And I asked a couple people for help, you know, hey, where's the nearest light rail station, this is that, and everyone's like, no. Like, so I automatically knew, okay, everyone's friendly, you know, everyone's looking out for you. Everyone's looking out for each other, or they're looking out for themselves. That's fine. I'll look out for myself too. And so, anyways, I was waiting at the light rail station. My mother's on the phone. She's freaking out. I calmed her down finally, and she's just like, and she told me to at least wait on the phone with her till light rail comes, right? Until I could verify. The status kept changing. Light rail, BWI, 5 minutes. Then it goes back to 7. Then it goes to 2. Then it goes to 3. Then the thing says, train approaching. It was flashing like that for 10 minutes. I counted when the light rail finally came. It was 30 minutes. I was on the phone with my mother for 30 minutes. As soon as I sat down at the light rail station when she called me, to where the freaking light rail finally showed up. It was 30 minutes. And the wind kept blowing everywhere. And all that stuff. And I was still wet. Everything got wet. Even everything in my backpack. So, when I plugged in my portable charger, I was scared shitless. Because it was all soaking wet. But my phone needed to charge. It was on 5% because my mom was on the phone frantically. And I didn't want to move because my hands were in my jacket pocket warm. Right? They were warm and dry. My whole body was dry. My face was dry. Everything was dry. My whole body was dry. My sweats were soaked. The only thing that was dry was my butt. So instead of, shitting yourself, and everything else is fine, it's the opposite. So, yeah. So I was on the light rail, and finally we get to BWI Airport. We get to the area because I recognized some of the. I finally saw some cargo planes. I'm like, oh, there's a cargo area. Sure enough. Here's the thing. The description of where the place is located says second building, right? Or not second building. It's second story, right? It would have been nice to know that my building was the only building with a second story. Everything else was one story. The only building that had 2 stories happened to be my building. That would have made my life so much easier. I know Baltimore, BWI Airport inside out. I know the whole place, right? I've been there. I've flown in and out so many times. I had so many people, or so many friends who've worked there, I know BWI like the back of my head. I should have known that the Southwest People's Services was the only building that had 2 stories. I wasted all that time. I called my mother, and I explained to her everything. And she's really worried about me. She's like, okay, Richard, you need to get home. Or just, you need to get back at least to Union Station. Because once you get to Union Station, you'll be fine. I'm just worried about you. I said, okay. She's like, I want you on the next train. I don't care if it's an Amtrak. I want you on the next train. I said, oh, okay. Things might lighten up a bit, right? Well, it did. I was right. I looked on the status as I was coming into BWI Airport on the light rail. The next train was the Acela Express. 2239. I'll say, ooh. I said, she did say the next one. So I called to make sure. So Mom, the next train's the Acela. I'm about to miss this regional. There's something about a MARC train, but I don't know what's going to happen to that. Because I thought it got canceled because MTA made an announcement about a couple of trains were canceled or something like that. I don't know. But it was a automatic announcement. So I didn't know if they're talking about a different day. I thought they were talking about the same date as today. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm saluting my cat. So, when I get to... So, she said, okay, buy the tickets. So, I got my Acela Express ticket. I had my Acela Express ticket. So, yeah. So, I got my Acela ticket. As soon as you have to take a shuttle from the terminal to the rail station, right? It was me and like 2 nice looking ladies. As soon as we get there, a regional comes. Okay, I knew I was gonna miss that, right? I grabbed my Acela ticket, look at the status. I didn't see a MARC train on there. I didn't see a MARC train, right? I saw the Acela, I didn't see the MARC. When I got down to the platform, there's a MARC that stopped. Kawasaki, all Kawasaki, and a Charger. Kawasaki set with a Charger. My God. I was mad. I was like, crap. I've always wanted to experience like the full power of a Charger, right? So, oh damn. Oh well. You know, I'm like, oh, at least I got Acela. You know, I get to ride the Acela one more time. All right, before they go, because by the time the new Avion Liberty comes, you know, like the Acelas will be all scrapped and stuff. Supposedly, that's what I've been told, and I was very upset about that. And so, anyway, so the Acela pulls up, everything's fine. My car was like half empty, so I took a seat immediately, and I just relaxed. Went to the cafe car, got a cheeseburger, talking with the onboard service attendant, went back, and almost fell asleep. The new refurbished Acela cars were amazing, and in this video, I actually give you a tour of the Acela Express cars, or the car I was in. I was in a business class, of course, and so I toured it all around. And here's what happened: when we hit Grove interlocking, we got put from 3 to 2 to go around that first mark, which is fine. We caught up to it in New Carrollton, right? When we pulled up to CP Avenue. So CP Avenue, if you guys are familiar with the CSX timetables, especially on the Baltimore division, and you know the Metropolitan and the Capital subdivision like the back of your head, you should know where New York Avenue is. New York Avenue is the last signal, and they're both B&Os. They're the last signals that go into the Washington terminal. So they're not technically B&O signals, they're technically Washington terminal signals. Right, for the proper termination, but they are CSX aspect. So the same aspects for CSX that you see on B&O are the same ones for the Washington terminal that still exists today. So we stopped and that's for just the CSX territory. If you're going on the Capital subdivision or the Metropolitan subdivision around that Y, where you have QN and F Tower, right? Anyways. So we stopped at an interlocking called CP, which is the last one before you go into the Washington terminal, right? And they are Washington terminal signals. And we stop. Next thing you know, the MARC flies past us, the same one with the whole Kawasaki set and the Charger zooms past us at 80 miles an hour while we were stopped on track 2. They're flying at us on track 3. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. The MARC took on our Acela train. It left first, we passed it, we got stopped, and it zoomed past us at 80 miles an hour. I was like, great. I just missed on a good opportunity. But that's okay. I want to thank my mother for allowing me to go on the Acela at least one more time. I definitely got to do it again before the Acelas get scrapped. There's a huge rumor that when the Avion Liberties come in, not only will Acelas get scrapped, P42s and P40s will also get scrapped and be replaced by a new diesel locomotive. So like on your long distance, you'll have more efficient locomotives that are almost Charger-like, but they're not the Chargers from what I've been told. So, which is pretty cool. I would love to see the Chargers on the Capital Limited at least. So, but yeah, that's the information I got. So enjoy the rest of the video. I have all the clips right here. From after, I don't have the clips from the light rail at all because the car I was on, yeah, you didn't want to be any suspicious, otherwise stuff is going to go down. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. I don't have any footage from the light rail, which is fine. You know, I was more worried about looking for where my location was and getting on the damn light rail than filming on the light rail, which I truly did not care about. So after me talking for 15.5 minutes, here is the rest of the clip. I did some while I was at BWI. I filmed a couple trains that went by and filmed myself coming in, as well as filmed on board the Acela and where I was sitting, so that way you can see what I was doing and you know what amenities I have in my business class seat. So enjoy the rest of the video as I had a miserable day. I am still wet. My socks are wet. My pants are still wet. I've yet to have a shower. I need a shower desperately. Yeah, it's been a I don't know. It was a bad day that turned into an awesome time. That's all I gotta say. So enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks, guys.
North Carolina at 70 miles an hour. Oh, we did not actually. Nope, we did not cross over.
behind me. I don't see him.
No, no, but okay.
So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the love and support you have, especially since all the support I need right now, especially after this long, exhausting, tiring day. I promised myself I'll take a shower as soon as I'm done editing this video and uploading all that stuff. It is really late right now, and I'm tired. What I didn't realize, I felt like having some soup from my local Chinese restaurant. What I didn't realize, what time it was. I didn't even look at my watch, right? Actually, let me go back further. So, after I had dinner at Johnny Rockets, right, I jumped on the metro and I headed home. When I transferred from the red line to the silver line, someone left an umbrella on the silver line. And I decided to sit right on top of the umbrella. So I looked down and I realized I was sitting on something funky. There is an umbrella. I'm going to pause for 5 seconds and let you figure this out, and I'll explain to you. An umbrella would have been nice to have when I was on the MARC train, not the metro. My journey was over. I didn't think about it at first until I realized something. When we went above ground at our East Falls Church, when the underground section ends on our silver line, it wasn't raining. It wasn't raining at all. I was mad. I almost wanted to throw the umbrella out the doors. I was so pissed. It would have been nice to have a freaking umbrella at least on the MARC train. If someone could have left the umbrella on the MARC train, that would have helped me a lot. I wouldn't have gotten wet. You know, maybe my feet would have gotten a little bit drier. So that way I can see better with puddles instead of having raindrops in my glasses. It was a mess. I could use it as a weapon in case someone attacked me in Baltimore. You can use anything as a weapon, like anywhere. Heck, this could be a weapon. All you gotta do is grab it tight, and if you pull hard enough, it will cut you. I have done that to people accidentally, but I have done that to people. Their hands are sliced. It looks like Deadpool tried to masturbate with swords, and it didn't go well. Honestly, like, that is what was happening. So, like, and I find it ironic. And all these trips I do, there's always something going to happen ironically. Sorry, this is uncomfortable. Something's going to happen ironically. And this is the most ironic thing I have ever seen or experienced. It pours. You're drenched, you're soaking wet, your shoes are torn to shreds because you can't see where you're walking, and your feet are just flooded, and your socks are all wet. You know, your whole outer shell of your jackets and sweatpants are wet, so it makes you a little bit cold, and then you have to sit in the cold, and then you get to a nice warm dry place where you can sit down and relax for a while on the metro. And you find something you would have probably needed earlier. Yeah. Well, I have a free umbrella. It saved me about $10-15. So whoever left the umbrella on the metro, motherfucker, it's mine now. Good luck getting it back. I might use it against you. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow, I'll be at Saybrook, Maryland. Sunday, the 25th, with a couple people like Acela 2017 Rail fan. I hope to see the rest of you guys there. It's going to be great. I finally saw this evening the MARC sets that are going to be used on the Amtrak Holiday Express trains. I did see them at Union Station. I saw both sets. One's on 16, one's on track 7. And yeah, what's I'm finding unusual is the one set on track 7. That's not electrified, so I don't know if they'll have a diesel shunted into one of the electrified tracks and put an electric motor on it, or if it's going to be a diesel. I don't know. I have a huge feeling it will be the ACS 64s pulling. If the HHPs are pulling, I'll be surprised. But one thing I do not see on those single levels is any Amtrak cars. Usually there's like an Am Cafe. I don't see any on the MARC. On both contests, I didn't see head-end powers, and I didn't see any anything Amtrak related on them. It was just MARC. And then the one set I saw in 17 was a really old cab car. The numbering in the front where the plow is really old. I don't know if I saw the ditch lights or not. I assume the ditch lights were on there, but I didn't get a good look and see what the ditch lights look, because they can tell you, like, just attention to detail can tell you a whole lot about something, you know. And yeah, so that is it for this videos. Well, there's a whole bunch of videos. There are 37 clips, 38 about to be for this one. So there are a lot of video clips. I'm at this whole video. Ugh. You can tell how out of it I am. I'm still cold. You know what? I'm gonna take a shower. Deuces.